Hi, I'm Frankie Allen, and I will demonstrate in this video how to compile a multimedia audio-video project to put on YouTube or a personal website. The main steps in creating a multimedia literary piece on Adobe are: 1. On audio track 1, record the master track poem, story, or essay that's being featured. 2. On video track 1, record the video or pictures that play over and complement the literary piece. 3. On video track 2, record cutaways, other video angles and sizes, or special visual elements to be used in editing. 4. Record music or background sound to be put on the Adobe track entitled Music. 5. Add sound effects to the Add Media tab to be put on audio track 2. 6. Edit tracks, adding transitions and titles or other graphics. 7. Save and export the project. Now, I will explain the process in detail. First, I select a poem, short story, or essay to use as the central element of the multimedia video. In this case, I picked a poem of approximately a minute long I wrote called By the Lake. Then I compose a treatment, which is a written text document narrative of exactly what the viewer will be seeing in the completed video. It includes steps required to make the multimedia video from the start to the end, where I export it to YouTube. Next, I develop a storyboard to plan out the order of how the shots will be placed using an audio-video template, which contains a hand-drawn image and description of the shot types and angles, along with the script, narration, titles, scene ID, runtime, effects, and any other info I may need for editing. Then I set up for recording the audio narrative of the poem in Adobe. If you have it pre-recorded, you can just drag it onto audio track 1 from the project assets. Next, I compile the video segments I want the viewer to watch while listening to the poem. These shots reflect some of the words and ideas in the poem. This is where I take the shots I've recorded in the field of the things I mentioned in the poem, like clouds, the lake, or any cutaways I want to include. After putting the shot into my computer's hard drive, I open up Add Media on Adobe and drag these segments onto video track 2. Then I put any background or featured music I've recorded on my hard drive and use Add Media to drag it onto Adobe track entitled Music. Sometimes I use an original piece I've composed especially for the literary piece I'm featuring, or I use music I've already written and recorded. If you're not a composer of music, you can download any copyright-free music or sounds like wind, rain, surf, or other sounds to be playing while your poem and story is read. Next, onto audio track 2, I drag any sound effects I've downloaded, such as growls, street sounds, birds, insects, or any incremental sounds that correlate with phrases or words in the poem or story. After I compiled all my tracks, it's time to do the editing, where I trim the cutaways, add the fades, transitions, do the match cuts, add any titles, animations, credits, and mix them all together into a single clip, adjusting their relative volumes. Next, I save the completed multimedia piece that's on Adobe to several places and export it to my YouTube channel or personal webpage. Now, I will read the poem I'm using as my central element for this multimedia piece. By the lake. The waters on the lake were beautiful today. Little waves lapping onto the shore. The breeze felt so sweet on our faces as we gazed at the smiling clouds lingering in the sky. The trees and leaves swayed this way and that as the birds flew from limb to limb, insects fluttering like whirling dervishes. And I watched the joy in your face play tag with the sunshine. We walked hand in hand on the pier as it tugged the lake underneath, the sky reflecting cotton candy on the water and all the gifts of the day echoed in our eyes and hearts from a world that shone with the light of love we shared. Well, I hope you enjoyed this instructional video on how to get your literary work onto YouTube and the internet so you can share what you've done with the world. Until next time, I'm Frankie Allen.